the civil rights movement. Were you expelled?
Yes, when I opened, I said that I was one of the student leaders in Albany, and I was jailed December '61. And as a result, I was suspended from Albany State College. That, in fact, ended up placing me at Spelman College in Atlanta, which is where I was, and I got to hear both Joan Baez and Odetta for the first time live.
So I interrupted when you just came to the point where you were singing with Bob Dylan, with Odetta, and the SNCC Singers.
Yes. Those environments, this would be '63, were very leveled for us. I mean, we were freedom singers. We were staff members of a civil rights movement organization. That meant our salary was $10 a month, a week. And we got $9.60 because they took out taxes. So economically, we were not on the same level with some of the people who really would be thought of as the big names in folk music. But because we represented and carried the songs of this massive drive against racism in this country, wherever we went, we were in the same environment with people, and Odetta was a part of that. Peter, Paul, and Mary, Bob Dylan. All of these people were people who gave their time and support as a part of this movement. We also were a cappella. Most of the other people played guitars, but the Freedom Singers and the singing that came out of the civil rights movement really increased within the general culture what singing is in a congregational way. That when you came together, you could actually create a sound, and that sound would have an energy to it, and it really would push forward anything you had to do. It was a wonderful, wonderful, and powerful formative experience for all of us who participated in it.
Is that what inspired Sweet Honey in the Rock, also an a cappella group, this a group of women?
Freedom Singers for me is '63. Sweet Honey in the Rock is 10 years later. In between the Freedom Singers and Sweet Honey, I helped to organize a group called the Harambe Singers in Atlanta in 1967. That group sang for the Black Power, Black Consciousness movement. And what happened for me is the kind of singing I did in the marches, in the jails, in the mass meetings, with the Freedom Singers, ended up shaping what kind of singer I would always be. And it had to do with always trying to express my positions and my commitment to change through the kinds of songs I would do. So Sweet Honey in the Rock, which came out of a theater workshop, was going to be a cappella, was going to do songs that came out of the struggles and the stages of life of people on a community-based level, calling people to pay attention to issues that we needed to be addressing as responsible citizens. And that singers, that artists, really had a big role to play in challenging our society and culture to transform itself and to do better. And so absolutely, the Freedom Singers and the freedom song in the civil rights movement is formative for me, both as a singer, as a composer, and as a scholar.
Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon, would you like to share a few notes of one of your favorite songs that you think of when you think of Odetta?
Not particularly at this hour in the morning.
Well, Odetta had hoped to perform at one of the activities around the inauguration, and I wanted to ask your thoughts. You will be at the inaugural Peace Ball on January 20th with your daughter Toshi. Your thoughts about this inauguration coming up, the inauguration of Barack Obama, the first African-American president of the United States?
I guess the thing that has inspired me the most is the campaign. And a lot of times when people ask me about the election and the inauguration, and I start to talk about the campaign, it is as if I haven't named something. But if you live through the campaign we just witnessed, it was just one of the most inspiring efforts I have been blessed to participate in since the voter registration drives that went on in the South during the 1960s, where registering to vote and attempting to vote in many places in the South could get you killed. What happened with this election, where there was just an effort to viscerally wake up in every citizen in this country that we had a responsibility not to sit this one out. And I am so grateful that so many people stepped forward and did not sit it out. So as I go toward the January 20th and the celebration of new possibilities, I am carried on the energy generated by the most amazing campaign I have ever seen in my life.
Finally, I know you have to leave.
I am hoping that we will see from the administrative energies and the congressional energies and understanding that they have a responsibility to this campaign.
Finally, I know you have to leave, but I just wanted to play a clip of, well, the former South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu. I got a chance to talk to him a week or two ago here in New York and ask him about another great cultural figure who also just died in November, Miriam Makeba. She died at the age of 76, and this is what Bishop Tutu had to say.
Oh, Mama Africa, she's just been fantastic, and one wants to say quickly too, pay a very warm tribute to Harry Belafonte, because Harry Belafonte took her under his wing when she was an unknown, and her singing, her voice helped many people to know a little bit more about the vicious apartheid system. She was just a tremendous human being, a great loss to us and to Africa, and we pray that she's joining the angels and archangels, lilting away with her voice in heaven.
That was Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon, the role of Miriam Makeba in your life and your inspiration.
They really do. When I think of Odetta and Miriam Makeba as an African-American woman, they are just important because they really were images that reflected new possibilities for us that took us back to the way we are naturally. And these were the first two women I saw who were black women who wore their hair natural. And I know we live in a time when we can get up and do anything we imagine we want to do with our hair. But back then, it was path-breaking. The other thing is Miriam Makeba sang freedom songs from South Africa, and she also showed up in a number of different ways. She was just a powerful force for us. What was amazing to me is that when she died, she had just finished singing in a supporting a campaign, a progressive campaign, and I thought, I would just love to go out that way. So Mary Makeba and Odetta were two incredible voices and two incredible bodies of work we have. And I liked very much that Bishop Tutu mentioned Harry Belafonte, who was one of the powerful supporters of the Civil Rights Movement, and especially supporters of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the students. The Freedom Singers also sang in 1963 at the March on Washington. And we had been performing in Los Angeles, and we were able to get to the march because Belafonte had organized a chartered plane and invited us to travel to get back to Washington to participate in the program on the Mall in 1963.
Well, Dr. Bernice Johnson Reagon, I want to thank you so much for being with us, and I'll see you on January 20th at the inaugural Peace Ball during those festivities.
I look forward to